I want to look at how to both store and use variables in R. In order to store a variable, I need to label it. So let's call this variable A. And we might want to do this because we're going to repeatedly use it. Let's say A is equal to something simple like 2 plus 3. When I run this down here at the output, I don't see the actual value 5 pop up. Instead, I've now stored this as a variable. We can see it up here in the top right. The value of A is currently 5. I can redo it and say, oh, I actually want A to be 3 plus 3. And we can see at the top right here, it's now changed the value of A to 6. I can also use it recursively. A is equal to A plus 2. It was most recently 6, and then we added 2 to turn it into the value of now 8. And we may want to use these several times. We may want to recursively do something. There are several reasons we might want to use these stored variables. One might be that we have particular conditions that we need if certain things happen. This would be an if command. This is done by writing if with parentheses, and we give it our command. We'll say if A is greater than 5, we then use the curly braces and tell it what we want to happen. Let's say in this case, if A is greater than 5, we need to set B equal to 2. We can then use the else command, which says otherwise, if we don't do that, then we need to set B equal to 5. After that, I'm going to output B and see what happens. If we run this command and then run our B, we can see that B is equal to 2. Our value of A was 6. Since 6 is greater than 5, we set B equal to 2. If, on the other hand, I set A equal to something like 2 before I run this command, I can now see that B is equal to 5 because A was not bigger than 5, so we went to the else statement and did that. So this can be a way to do things depending on what output we get from one of our variables. We can also use this to do things repeatedly. So let's say I want to add the first 20 integers, positive integers, the numbers from 1 to 20. Well, for every time I is between 1 and 20, n, 1 to 20, well, I want to add it. So I'm going to add the previous value of the sum plus this new number. I do need to start by giving it a value of 0. And if I run this, I can now test what the value of sum is. And we can see that it is 210. It is the result of adding each one of these numbers. The idea of this is we start with I equal to 1. We do 0 plus 1 to get 1. We then change I to 2 and do the previous value of the sum, which was 1, plus 2 to get the new value of 3. We then let I be equal to 3. We add the previous sum, which was 2, plus my I value to get 3 to get my new sum of 5. And we repeatedly do this a total of 20 times since I went from I between 1 and 20.